Hey, everybody, this is Tina with the While We Still Can podcast. It is August 19th, and I have Tony here with us today. Lisa can't make it. Well, she might pop in, but uh, we wanted to start this episode out with y'all feel fucking crazy? Because I feel like I'm taking fucking crazy pills and not the kind that's making me better.
Exactly. I absolutely do. I mean, but that's every day of my life, pretty much. I go to work, and my work oftentimes is a shit show. Um, but I tell everybody this is my escape, actually, from my reality. and because reality is stranger than fiction for sure. And I posted something yesterday, I think, where I was like, if you've ever watched the movie 2012, I really feel like the elites know something we don't. And that's why all this is happening. I mean,
Causing something on
yes.
purpose. And so that's part of the plan because it does seem like we are completely disregarded in every fucking decision that is being made. And we're actively fighting against it in all the ways that we've done in the past. And it's just not working.
Well, and that's exactly it. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't even think we're actively fighting against it. People are going through the motions of doing what worked in the past in a very limited capacity, to be honest. I think the reality is nobody's really fighting for anything. You know, Even the best of the best of them aren't fighting. Whereas this is what I don't understand. In true reality, the information I've shared. Even yesterday, I reshared information. And this is another thing that drives me crazy is, you know, every day I keep looking at stuff online from all these very high profile accounts, and they're like, breaking news. And I'm like, breaking?
It's a
I
year
posted that
old.
shit like 3 months ago.
Right.
And one thing, not to get off on a million tangents here, but one of the things I'm documenting clearly, and I have no doubt that if I ever end up in court for some reason, is just the suppression that's happening to my account on X. And I'll give you a very specific example with the news that's been going on just within the last 24 hours. Obviously we have Donald Trump and that handwritten note from the 13-year-old girl. One thing I find very interesting about all of that is on threads, what I found happened most often on threads in the responses I was getting to the information I was sharing was that's already been dismissed, that was a hoax, yada, yada, yada. And I keep having to remind them, oh, this isn't the 13-year-old
Yeah,
girl
it's
that you're
another
talking
third.
about. This is a
Yeah,
completely different 13-year-old girl.
right.
So then they just kind of shut up because they don't have any retort to that. But I posted something. I posted it both on all platforms because I'm getting very proficient in doing that, except TikTok. I stay away from TikTok for various reasons, and I've got allies that can handle that front of the
Right.
war. Beck is one of the
Yes.
best, but
Yeah.
um, and on Threads, my like count, and I'm not a statistics number person. I use it purely mathematically to prove things. And my like count from a post on Threads yesterday is almost approaching 23,000, 2 days ago, approaching 23,000 likes on Threads, which is not a huge account that does, or a huge platform like Twitter is or used to be. Okay. And on Threads, I'm gaining followers. I'm at 40 followers on Threads, which is, I'd say, significant for an average person like me. But on Twitter, I have 10 times that. I have 47,000 followers on Twitter, but the same exact post with 10 times more followers on Twitter, I have like barely 3,000 likes. So,
Oh,
you know,
well, they're suppressing the algorithm, but we could reframe this as that means you're on to something. So,
absolutely.
if and I have noticed that with the repetition of you posting things, it catches a new wave of people every time. So I
Mm-hmm.
do think that's truly helpful. I'm sure it feels repetitive for you, but they're so information dense, and it'll put a piece to the puzzle that everyone's at different places. You know how we're like, hey, that came out 3 months ago. This isn't breaking news, but everybody is kind of at their own pace here. We are just
Mm-hmm.
super A plus plus
Well,
psychos.
and you're right. And, you mentioned repetition, and I've been accused of repeating things too often, almost
Nope.
from people that follow me online, honestly. But um, what I found is it doesn't matter what platform you're on, you could get something that has 100,000 views, and it'll still be new to somebody when you post it
Absolutely.
again. And that's what information sharing is all about, is getting,
Well,
because that little piece of the puzzle that they missed 3 months ago when it was first posted and everybody paid it, a bunch of people paid attention to it, may be the piece that they missed that puts the larger picture
yes.
together now.
And that's
And
what
I,
I love about our community that we're building, because we are going to build something that when you find the puzzle piece that maybe we haven't found, shoot us a message and let's get on that shit. Let's connect them. I suck at puzzles, okay? This is the first puzzle I've ever been okay at. Um, but and also this is also, the repetition is also taking a uh something out of their own book, because
yes,
we do know that just the simple repetition of saying something over and over and over makes it true. We know this.
yes. Well, and the difference is what I'm
Ours is
sharing
true.
is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I have receipts if you ask for them, or usually I put them in front of your face before you have to ask for them, so we can move on to the next fact that I have to share. And
Well, it's one of those things where I've learned over time, over basically the past 10 years, for one, my toxic trait is believing if I give people information, they'll change their, outlook or whatever they think. But I've learned that it's not true.
I think one thing is with what we're trying to create, and just if for those of you who are unaware, we are using the Circle platform app to create a community with for the While We Still Can podcast. Essentially, it's where you can be involved in it. We want it to be very organic in a way that we're going to adapt to how the feedback that people are giving us in terms of how they are processing information, which has always been kind of my goal, and I know Tina and Lisa's goal going forward is always finding a way to capture people's attention that they can process, digest, and use information to create that larger picture we're talking about. So this platform, it's gonna. I can tell you, I have so much stuff I want to share on it. I know you do. I know Lisa does too. Is going to be a work in progress for damn sure going forward. But ultimately, I'd almost like you to be able to. And I'm saying you as general public. Ultimately, my goal is personally is for anybody to be able to click on that app and go bink bink bink, this is exactly what I want to see, and this is what I want. And the way they were presenting it to me is the way that I can take it in and put that puzzle piece together. But the other important thing I think about that is getting people to realize, oh, they missed this piece, so let me go ahead and fill in that little piece of the puzzle that they seem to be missing already or they haven't gotten to yet. That's what
Right.
this community is about, is because we all are a collective brain of information. Every single one of us has different experiences, have absorbed different information that you may not even think is relevant until you see that one little piece of information. And that's my thing with Amanda. And I'll tell you, I'm going to say it publicly here because, me, is Amanda is very non-social media proficient. Okay,
Yeah, it's
and to the
a skill.
yes, and even because just the lifestyle she lived in, and social media really wasn't part of that her world at the time, other than casually being involved in it. And then all of a sudden, she became an overnight sensation because of the information she was sharing and how she was sharing it.
And
But
this is
she
Amanda
still,
Ungaro, Paula
yes,
Zampoli's baby mama, long time.
she'll still call me. I remember early on, she called me once and she's like, Tony, I need your help. I don't know how to undo the repost I accidentally did of something Paulo posted.
We've all done it, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay.
Exactly. But that gives you an idea. We're all at varying levels, degrees of not only information. And with Amanda, I told her, I said, I guarantee if the right person can ask you questions or has access to the information you have on your computer, uh, there's so much information you have no idea you possess that could help this completely. Because I have emails. I was telling somebody at work earlier today because I like to tell these stories because they're interested, and that's real life people want to
Uh-huh.
hear. And I said I have emails, just casual emails from Ghislaine Maxwell and Paula Zampoli that aren't in the Epstein files. I have emails, casual emails between Paula Zampoli and Melania Trump that aren't in any of the files anybody's seen. And
Super
those
casual,
are things that
Tony.
Amanda has been, yeah, but Amanda has been able to, given her limited ability, kind of search things. She had no idea that she possessed these. Paula, for 20 years, just would CC Amanda on anything that he sent. But part of his control also, if you're in time, everyone will be able to see the information I have. It's just not important to what we need to focus on right now. Everybody
Right.
wants it all now, but it's not necessary for right now.
Right.
But and so she's got a number of emails. I've seen back and forth emails. One of the things I see is just this level of control that Paulo had on her. And him sharing these emails with Amanda, one of the things he would do is he would actually write emails as Amanda and share them with her to then share herself. So that he was creating this ally of his, who everybody knew was his. And in these emails, he even called her his wife for years. Anytime it's convenient, Amanda
Yeah.
was his wife, unless
Mm-hmm.
it came to actual supporting her emotionally, financially, and everything else. But I digress. Amanda is unaware of the information not only she possesses in her computer because she just doesn't have the understanding of how to process that information or find the information, but also in her brain. I mean, I'd like to just sit and ask her some questions about sitting at a dinner table on New Year's Eve with Melania and her parents and the Ruffins and Donald Trump doing what Donald Trump does. She said, and I don't know if it was to me directly or to us when she was on our pod, which I think, well, we know what we need to do with all that stuff. Um,
Yes.
she said that she liked Donald Trump, and I'm not, I definitely, but in terms of his personality, given the circumstances she was in, sitting at his table, he was very friendly, very open, very, that person that convinces everybody because they don't realize he's just a piece of shit con man he's been since Trump.
Well, but also the only men that she has been around her whole life are the biggest fucking creeps that we've ever met. So if that is all that you have known since age 14 when you started modeling, that's how
Mm-hmm.
old men act. They're all creepy.
Yep.
And you don't even
Yep.
know that they're
Well, and one thing along those same lines, and this is just the reality of everything and how my mind works, is I've created a very special connection with Amanda. It's very unusual to me, but I understand it in a way just because of exactly what you're talking about. I'm literally that guy that has been her partner
that
since she was
hasn't taken
15 years old.
advantage of her and abused her.
No, but I fall into the category of that older 56-year-old gentleman,
Her protector.
Paulo, and also her current husband, Jao. They're both the same age as me. So I just happen to be the one that's not taking advantage of her, and we have a very close relationship because of that connection. She can be honest with me, and she knows I won't pursue her. I've been with my husband forever.
Right. Yeah.
And so there's no ulterior motives there. But I told her yesterday, and she hasn't responded to me about this yet, even though we've talked about some other things since, is I told her I want to figure out a way to go visit her in Rio soon. And this is something I haven't even mentioned to Randy. I have the door closed.
Yes.
But I told her, I said, I just, all I need to do is fly down there, get a hotel, and whatever time she has for me, that's fine. I don't want anything from her other than her time. And I
Right.
said, if she just gives me the go ahead and says yes, I already have a passport. I already have, so I don't really have to do much except make
Buy a
accommodations.
ticket. Yeah.
Yeah, and find the money to do that. So if she says so, and I haven't decided if I want to do it secretly and just bam, show up in the United States again and be like, hey, guess what I just did the last few days? Or
Make it
if I
a
want to,
big thing.
or if I want to do it openly and make it a big thing. And if she agrees, I want to do it openly, even if that. I look at the door,
Yeah.
even if that puts me at some risk.
Right,
It's
right.
because I think it's necessary. This is the type of action I can take that could make a big difference in the visibility that not only the story that Amanda has, but the other stuff that I have going on that you're well aware of, and just in a way. And it's again, it's not about me. We all have egos, and yes, I feed my ego in various ways. But this truly is about the fact that we're in dire straits as a nation right now, and we
And
need to.
don't you want to know the truth? Don't
Yes.
you? Like, I want to know what the fuck is going on and what the fuck, how do you heal from something if you do not fucking admit and face it? You can't. We know this from AA, okay? We know this. Like,
Yep.
if you don't, and if we don't look at our history as a whole, like, baby, let's go back to the original first Thanksgiving. We were not sitting there together eating at that table. Like, we weren't. So we were genociding in Native Americans, okay? So all pretty much all the truths that we've kind of lived on, we're
Yeah.
finding out again are not true, even down to the basic little tiny thing. We've
Like,
got. We've all been conned. People
I
just are
mean,
still
again,
continuing.
well, here's something to remind everybody that's just simple fact that if you think of the possibilities of what could have happened behind the scenes that none of us are aware of, is the fact that who published our elementary school books? You know who
Robert
that was, right?
Maxwell.
Robert Maxwell,
Hmm.
Elaine's father, who was connected to Mossad, the KGB, MI5, CIA, however many things. And so, what we're finding, and as crazy as it sounds, is we're finding a lot of the stupid ass conspiracies that were fed to us over the years, and they're kind of fun to think about. A lot of them actually align very closely to what the people that have taken over our nation have actually done for the last 40 years. So
They've
they were
inverted everything good.
yes,
And
they were only telling on themselves.
every time, every movie, bitch. That's how they get rid of their karma, Tony, is they say they told us and that they got consent because they made a fucking show or movie about it.
Well, and you're absolutely right, and that's beyond. I think that's even beyond just as basic as we say that about karma is that they literally in their own minds have convinced themselves in a way that what they're doing and saying is right to an extent that they could probably even be attached to lie detectors and in some way they can justify the things
Their
they
muscle, yeah,
yes
they've
yes
repeated it so many times that it
let me
became
let,
truth.
let me give you an example of how that has kind of fallen into the cult of MAGA as well. Is I told you earlier, I actually just am actively talking to people more and more about various things. I found that
Yep.
LinkedIn is one of the easiest things to talk to people about, and I'm trying to introduce other subjects here and there, especially people that I feel comfortable with at work. And today, a different person I was talking to, I brought up, me having talked, talking to Katie, or trying to talk to Katie Fang and some other stuff, and I mentioned who that person was, and when I mentioned specifically about the uh, Epstein files and the fact that that there was more information coming about the Epstein files, that she is working, I could see this disgust in her face towards me. There was this moment of disgust, like, how dare you try to talk to me about the Epstein files?
I'm talking.
And that told me something there. I'm like, holy cow, there's some almost animosity in real life when it comes to you trying to introduce verifiable information to the people that don't want to hear it, because that's what they've been conditioned to do because of this cult mentality that's been created. That
It's us against
repetition.
them.
Yes, absolutely. I had another woman today that was telling me about the Abraham Lincoln. I'm like, don't fucking tell me about the Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
But we were talking about it, and she's like, well, I saw that the families are saying, oh, well, those reports are 3 months old, and that that's really not what's going on. now because they've addressed it. And I'm like, well, one, we just found out yesterday that the reason they weren't being supplied is because all of the bases in
We're
the Gulf
demolished.
area are destroyed. So the regime was keeping that information from us, and there's barely a blip on the radar about it.
Instead of admitting it and getting some new fucking supplies, they're like,
Yes.
bro, you're gonna have to
You know,
stop
I'm
because we are not telling on ourselves. And then you gotta sign an NDA when you get off this boat. And then I'm gonna tell you, Tony, I texted in the group chat last night. My soul is very on alert for a false flag with that fucking boat.
You're absolutely right, but we'll get to that in a second. But when I asked her, she was almost justified. And I said, where did you get your information? Well, it's just family saying it. I said, but where was it reported? And she couldn't
Right.
really, she
Because it
didn't
was
want to
Fox
admit.
News.
Yeah, well, she didn't want to admit where she got the information. But that's another example of how people respond with this almost animosity towards you, or this evasiveness in both of these cases, in a way that, because they know they're wrong, and I think we just need to keep fucking shoving it in their fucking stupid ass faces how
Dude,
wrong they
Tony,
are.
people at work hate to see me fucking coming. And they hear me before they see me. And they're like, oh God, what shit are you talking about now? And I'm like, shit you need to hear about, okay? And then, speaking of work stories, let me tell you a situation about my work today. So, probably 55-year-old man, uh, he's a rep. And I, again, always bring it back to something that I can inform somebody about. Any conversation I make, I'm like, hold on, let me put a little tidbit in there. Let me get a little propaganda in there for you. Um, but actually just fucking facts. But
Yeah.
I was talking about, I'm like, bro, like, he's like, oh no, I don't read any of that, so I can stay sane. And I was
Yeah.
like,
That's not okay.
okay. Uh, wait. So he's like, no, I only look at sports. I only look at sports. And I'm like, wait, I could have swore you were like the first one in there champion that men are protectors. How is ignoring
Well,
it?
they're throwing shit at the wall because they're hoping that you just back down, and they're hoping you
Yeah.
don't remember their own history, and their history betrays them. Everything I do. And people have asked me. And I started writing about this yesterday on my Substack. I've written a couple articles, and I started my most recent Substack article with talking about what people have asked me, Tony, how did you start doing this? How did you become what you are now? And I'm like, what am I now? I'm still going to work every day. I'm still
I ain't
trying to
getting
figure
paid,
out what the fuck
bitch.
is going on. But I'm just like, I'm like, in the article yesterday I started with, I'm like, well, in October 2016, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Something not happening the way it should be.
Yeah, it
And
feels
because I,
weird.
yeah, I'm like, I've been, I don't pay attention to politics because I just trust things, even though there's been some questionable shit over the last couple of decades. I just kind of left it alone. But then October 2016, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here with this? Are we seriously going to do this?
It's
And,
like,
and,
no, no.
and if you're like me on election night, I lived in Las Vegas, and they did that Hillary, that last debate they did was at the Las Vegas UCL or UNLV campus, which is only about a mile from where my house was in Vegas. And I'm just like, I just can't believe this is actually happening a mile from me. I mean, we're this close to an election, and the Republican candidate is acting like this, and everybody's actually giving him a chance to win. So then when we hit the night of the election, I mean, it was devastating to me, and I only because I couldn't quite process it. I was like,
Idea that it was going to happen. I was like, no, I should have taken off work today. What the fuck?
and it was almost, if you really look at it, and I hope people. I'm going to post this. I think I'm going to try to figure out a clever way to put it together, but it was a 9/11 event for us. It truly was.
A slow burning decade. It's been a fucking decade.
Yes, it's been 10 years. And, you know, and I, at that time, that was what introduced me to Twitter at the time. Because I
Me
was like, okay,
too.
this is a great place to find information. I know I can figure out how to navigate it. There's high profile people on it. This is where the action is. And then leading up to the 2020 election in October of 2020, I ended up getting my original account. I'm on my third original account now. But my very original account, which was Tony Gonzalez LV. Okay, so I used my real name back then uh, until I learned that just get rid of the Gonzalez and they'll stop calling you thick and stuff.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so Tony Gonzalez LV, and leading up to the 2020 election, I started just hammering Trump's feed with clips of the Mueller report or and volume five specifically. And all of a sudden, my account disappeared. I got banned. So I created a new account. I rebuilt it. And then last year, a couple of weeks ago, it got banned again. But I still haven't figured out the specific thing. But I've been throwing so much shit out there at that point that I don't even know if
And
it was Paulo.
anything. Russian
And,
roulette.
the
You
most
said the
likely
word
thing,
Russian too much. The
well, the most
Krasnov.
likely thing is that I was exposing Paulo, and we know that he got uh, Becca banned from TikTok early on. It was probably fairly easy back then to ban some unknown person that I was, and even though I had 28,000 followers. And then now, my backup account was the exact same name. I did the same thing on True Social. I've told that story a little bit, but my original True Social was Real Truth, Real Facts, which just
I hate that shit.
hated it, especially with the stuff I was sharing. And after I got nuked on True Social and I came back, I literally made my name Real Truths, Real Facts is back, just to piss them off that much more. And eventually got banned because Trump finally got pissed off at me.
Good. Good. That is something we could have some keyboard warriors. There are all types of warriors. Get in there.
and I
Get
can
in
teach you how
there.
to do it. One of the things that people don't realize, timeliness of posts. You have, you know, commenting on some stupid ass post from 2 days ago that Tucker Carlson put out there is like pissing in the water in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It has no impact on anything except you. It makes you feel a little better yourself because you
Right.
just blurted it out into the
Right.
world. But Tucker's not going to see it. Not many other people are going to see it. So what I found early on was you had to get right into those comments as soon as they posted some fucked up shit, and really, really kind of get in there quickly. And timing is a factor too, and you get people's attention. You get not only your statistics in terms of engagement on the profile picks up, but the specific subject to the individual usually you gain their attention because after you post something, they usually don't pay much attention a couple hours later. They're moving on to their next post, the next thing that they can create. Even influencers do the same
Loosh.
thing, you know. So, but with it, I want to see how people are responding to this. Within a couple of minutes, if you post something in there, they're more likely to respond to you. And then, bam, you just caught that fish.
You caught the fish.
You
And
caught the fish.
that fish will go and talk to other fishes, okay? Or
Exactly.
or you plant a seed. Nothing is wasted, okay, except your high blood pressure. That
We
happens.
talked about so much, but you got to go.
I do. Okay, well, I gotta go do the kid thing, but just wanted to do a little update with you guys. The Circle app is kind of raw. I mean, okay, I'm enjoying watching
I am.
people.
I just throw stuff on there. I can't wait till the community grows so we
And
can
they
start
can't
talking to
delete
people.
it. They can't delete everyone, okay?
Exactly.
And
Yep.
there's no war plans on this one, so I think we're good. Like Hegseth isn't gonna pop in, so I think we're good.
And the other thing to keep in mind with any information you're putting out there, it becomes part of the record. Period. In the future, at some point, it is in the multiverse of the internet, and it's there forever.
It's in some
So
fucking data center that they're
yes,
building illegally. So yeah.
yeah. And I have plenty of people that are screenshotting my shit, sharing
Yeah.
it, or so. And that's what we all need to do: share, 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 but be a part of the solution and share
Yes.
the information you have too.
Yes. Okay, guys, like or subscribe if you would like to, and I will link the Circle app in the bottom and all of Tony's info. And I'm sure we'll be on with some more fuckery later this week. Okay, bye, guys.